Okay, everybody just calm the hell down. The Mummy stars Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, and is directed by Alex Kurtzman. What's up, guys? The Mummy is finally here. I've actually been anticipating this movie for quite a while, and then all of these just horrible reviews, an onslaught of horrible reviews came out, and I did not want to go see it. But then a couple of my friends, Patrick Campbell and Chris Nofo, giving them a shout out just for the hell of it, they actually enjoyed this movie. So, and you know, I value my friends' opinions, and I thought, hey, I'll go check this out. Plus, I'm a big Tom Cruise fan, so, you know, why not? But this story of the Mummy, much different than the Brendan Fraser version, and even the original version from, I think, the 30s. I've never seen the original version. Don't shoot me for that. But yeah, this one's different. This is about a female mummy, Amenet, and she is promised a birthright. She's going to be a queen, but then that's stolen from her. So long story short, she kills her family in order to become queen, and she kind of does a deal with the devil. She needs a vessel to release the Egyptian god of death, and that vessel being Nick Morton, played by none other than Tom Cruise. Now, let's get down to brass tacks. Is this movie good? Is it worth going to see? Let's start out with the cons. I usually don't do that. I usually do the pros, but I think I'm going to start out with the cons this time, just to make it interesting. Because the one major gargantuan con I have with this movie is the sidekick character Jake. And really comedy in general. Comedy in this movie falls flat all over the place. But this character Jake, from the beginning to the end, every scene that this guy was in, what's the best way to put this? He sucks the mercury right out of the film. And really, a lot of the comedy falls flat. Even the comedy delivered by Tom Cruise for the most part. But I think, you know, the character Jake really just sucked the fun out of it, so any joke that came aside from him, you probably weren't going to buy into anyway. Okay, now that that's out of the way, it's not all bad. Let's get into the pros, actually. First thing I really enjoyed about this one was that it was different. They didn't do the same old Mummy story like they did with the Brendan Fraser version. Huge fan of the first one, do not like Mummy Returns, and the Mummy 3, this movie is 100 times better than the third Mummy. Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, that is complete crap. Hated it. But I like the idea of a female mummy, and to be honest, everything that I thought I was not gonna like about this movie, I didn't have a problem with. In the trailers, for some reason, the computer effects, the CGI, didn't sit well with me. But when I watched it on the big screen, it's actually not that bad. It actually looks really well done. And there are some great, I guess, horror aspects to this, and I've always wanted a straight up horror mummy movie. I wish they would have went that route with this one, completely gutted all the comedy, and just made it a straight up, even R-rated, but I know they'll never do that because this is a franchise with Universal. But yeah, I think if they would have made this just a straight up horror movie, I would have loved the hell out of it, actually. But like I said, there are some scenes in this that do go on the creepy side, especially the scenes where Amenet, she's using these bodies to come back to life. And those scenes are really well done, actually. And the color palette in this is great because there are a lot of browns, sepia type tones in the Brendan Fraser version. So I'm glad they kind of stepped aside from that and went with more of a kind of a bluish tone. And I think it suits the plotline, actually. Also, Russell Crowe plays Dr. Jekyll in this movie because they're introducing this whole dark universe. And, you know, we can thank Marvel for that. Some people probably hate that, but it seems like every studio wants to put out their own cinematic universe now. I'm kind of in the middle on this. I could do without it, but there were some pretty cool scenes, actually, especially when Nick goes into Dr. Jekyll's headquarters, and you see a lot of nice Easter eggs in there, which I won't spoil for you guys, but I did nerd out just a little bit. And overall, it did make me curious to see which Dark Universe character they cover next. Also, another element that I thought I'd have a problem with is, you know, the whole romance aspect with Nick and the character Jenny, played by Annabelle Wallis. Thankfully, I didn't have a problem with it because it didn't feel too forced. They didn't put too much of it in there. As a matter of fact, The Mummy Returns, that was a big part of why I did not like that movie, because they oversold it with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz in that movie. Perfect in the first movie, but the second one, they just went way too far with it. In the Mummy remake, it didn't bother me too much. I actually enjoyed her character, and especially what they did with her in the third act, which actually did get a little bit on the emotional side. So guys, you know, just to sum it up, it's not great. The comedy kills this movie for me. If they would have taken the comedy out, it would have been so much better. But I didn't regret going to see it. I had a decent time with it, and I'm kind of curious to see what they bring in the future, so I'll definitely give it a humdrum. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on The Mummy? Looking forward to hearing them. Also, be sure to come over to Killer Flicks, where we talk horror all day, every day. And on Fridays, we do Free For All Fridays. Follow me at Drumdums on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And guys, if you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and a Drumdum out.